Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast. And you're thinking, is this RGT again? Where is George? Where's he gone? Well, don't worry. George is on his honeymoon at the moment, as we have to say congratulations to George and the lovely Rachel, as of recording, who were married at the weekend. They're away on their honeymoon, so you're going to have to put up with me for a few weeks later. But don't panic, because you ain't just got to put up with me, because the saviour of the show is here. It is the sexiest switchman on YouTube. It is Scott, aka Marathon Gaming. How are you, Scotty boy?
I'm good, thank you. I was just about to say, you think it's bad that you got RGT. It's about to get a whole lot worse because Scott's back
Oh
again.
no,
I'm here
it's
as
better
well.
with Scott. You're the celeb, mate, not me. You're the celeb. But yeah, so this is episode 278 as of recording. So yeah, 278. I'll tell you what, we might have to sort something out for a 300th episode. We might
Do
have
you
to
know
do a
what?
special show for that.
I thought the same thing. I was thinking we're getting near a big milestone. And I can't remember if the others were celebrated or not. I'm trying to remember like a 250 to 200, but 300 seems a big deal. So I
Mm.
think we should think of something special to do for
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. I've got a few ideas, but once we're off air, we'll have a little old chat and
Yeah, same.
see if we can get a lot of the subs involved and something we can get going on that. Before we, do the usual standard show, I'm just going to mention again our subscribers Zoom meetup, which is a game and quiz this time, which is on 2nd of August, 7:30, which I teased you last week with a special prize. Well, I'm going to tell you what that prize is this week. So if you're interested and you want to become a subscriber, check at the bottom of our show in the show notes and you'll see there's a link to support the show, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, you don't have to. Show's always free. But when you do, you get these little added perks. Anyway, this quiz, the prize, which was brilliantly organised by Digital Monkery, and it was made by makemycards.art. Now, if you're wondering what makemycards.art are, they are a website which designs a card game which is very similar to a game but has no connection to can be quite a dark and rude card game, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. And it's I won't mention their name, but it's very similar to them. Well, they have made us our own version of that, and it is called Cards Against UCP. Now, this card set involves past lore, current presenters, current subscribers, listeners. It's got bits and pieces of, like I say, old lore, new lore, and you can match it all up. You can play the game, put some funny results in. It's even got cards about my obsession with Stardew Valley, which will be quite amusing when you see what the blank bit is and what people will add into that. But anyway, yes, it is by makemycards.art. Go check them out. If you want your own personalised card game like this, go give them a look. It's a really easy website, very well done, very modern, very good, very quick delivery. He gets these made, bang, straight out to you. Give him a shout. If you do order one, say, we heard this on the UCP. The A Centre's over here. But yes, so if you want to join in on our competition 2nd of August and you're a subscriber, please do. It's one of your perks. And you never know, you might win a quiz and you might win yourself Cards Against UCP. So I'm looking forward to that. That is going to be hilarious,
That is
Scott.
going to be brilliant.
That is going to be a good night. Right, back to the standard show, which is what have you been playing?
Well, I've been living with my Switch 2, close to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
When we was last on last week, I was playing a hell of a lot of Balatro, and I said that's the only thing I'm going to play. And then my
Oh,
friend Seb said, "Are you not going to be jumping on the AAA title?" And then
yeah.
my brain ticked for a second. I was like, "Oh yeah, of course, Donkey Kong." I said, "I haven't pre-ordered it." And then I said, "Who am I kidding? By the time we've talked next, I would have got the game and played it." Well, spoiler alert. I carried on playing Balatro. I'm still playing Balatro. I've beaten my highest score a couple of times. If you're new to the show, there's basically a challenge each month in the Discord. It's free challenge. Under the challenge accepted tab, it's like high score. There's always a prize to be won. And this month is Balatro, your highest card hand wins. So I've been plugging away at that still. But then, yeah, I bit the bullet. I ordered physical for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Um, And yeah, it did not disappoint. So I probably only played it for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours max.
I'm interested to hear what you think of this
Yeah,
because
do you know? Yeah, I mean, I've said previously it's been under, and I think I said it on the last show with you and Seb. It's been under development, I think, since 2017, like a good 7 years. Same amount of
that's
years as
mad, isn't it?
GTA. I know, same amount of years as GTA 6. Originally, I think it was skinned for a different character, and they were trying to think what they can do. So this is the exact same developing team. I know it's Nintendo, but it's the exact developers as Super Mario Odyssey. So
Oh, okay. So that sort of
yes,
3D platformer, sort of smash, sort of game. Yeah.
exactly. So you can. There's a few things which is massive with it. Really, obviously, one is the fact that the whole environment is breakable and you can smash it up. There's
Hmm.
many levels, so that's a really cool, unique mechanic which they've added that fits Donkey Kong perfect. The second thing to add is obviously we haven't had a Donkey Kong game like this, a 3D one. It's always been platforming and 2D. So to actually have it as a full 3D game, it does feel like you're playing a 3D Mario game, whether it's, Sunshine, Odyssey,
Mm.
take your pick of the last, 5 years or so. Even Mario 64, it's got that whole environment. It's got different levels and tiers of it. And like the climb aspect reminds me almost of a Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh,
A
okay.
little bit like that. I'd be interested to hear from anyone who's played it in our Discord if they sort of other similarities like that. But I can see lots of different things from different universes.
Mm.
Except you can tell that it's a proper Nintendo game. It's a proper AAA game, and the price isn't too bad. I think physical. I think it's like £10 cheaper than Mario Kart. I think it's even cheaper at launch than Tears of the Kingdom was physical. I
Hmm.
don't get amiibos with it. You get accessories if you order directly. There's free gifts to choose. I think you get a pillow or a bag. Yeah, pillow cushion. I think there's a bag or the amiibo if you order through Nintendo. I wanted it straight away, so I just went next day. Next day delivery was Smiths,
Hmm.
and they're always good prices. But yeah, it's really really good. And also the other thing I was going to say, it reminds me a bit like Zelda is when like you've got these sort of been a while since I played Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom. Do you know the shrines where you go into each one
Hmm.
and you have these little trials? Well, it's got that. It's kind of got that. It hasn't, but it's almost. I feel like it's implied because you'll go into these little bonus levels to get something, and you can keep trying and trying again, but you've got to sort of complete what it is. It did remind me a bit like a shrine.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
also
that's
got
interesting.
it's got a real. It's very early sort of beginner level, but it has got a skill tree as well. So you go around collecting.
Oh,
There's
okay.
different currencies. Yeah, when you smash up the ground, you get a currency, which I know when you lose a life, it takes out. But I don't know what else you do with a currency because you get honestly millions. You can smash up for ages. I don't know how long the story is. I've heard rumors that it's only 10 hours long, but
Hmm.
it would take you 50 because you're smashing up and doing so much stuff to collect.
Mm.
There's treasure maps and different things. But yeah, you get these bananas, and the bananas you don't acquire so much. Over a couple of hours, you might only get half a dozen. Then by the
Hmm.
time you get two, you can upgrade something on your skill tree. It's very, very well thought out. Obviously, these are just my first impressions from the first couple of hours.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's a big game. It's really, really well done, to be fair. So yeah, I've been playing that Donkey Kong Bonanza.
How do you
Um,
before you go on? Is a
yeah,
frame rate and everything good? No frame rate drops because obviously there's a lot going on screen.
yeah. No, the only thing I would say, which is a bit odd, but I guess it's very hard to get rid of, is you smash the level up so much, and you can turn inside out, go up and down. Sometimes it's almost like like you get on a 3D game. Sometimes you get a bit stuck in like a dead space. Like for example, Helldivers, you might
Hmm.
land somewhere and you're almost stuck in a building.
Hmm.
You don't get stuck, but sometimes when you're panning the camera around, you might like see through an object for a second
Hmm.
potentially. But
Yeah.
I feel like you have to get your own bearings
Yeah.
because
True.
you can traverse through so many different
Mm.
layers. That's probably the only. I mean, if that is a negative, that's probably the only thing I
I mean,
would
to be
say.
fair, I mean, with Switch 2 power, it shouldn't be stuttering, but it's a game from the footage I've seen that there's a lot
Yeah.
going on screen when you're smashing things
Oh,
up. There's a lot going on, but
yeah. There's a
it
worry.
does.
I
Sorry,
was
carry
going to
on.
say, there's a worry you might get a bit bored of the smashing up. That's the only thing. Like sometimes I think I don't know when to stop. But I almost
Mm.
lose point of my objective, your checkpoint. So like you might go up a level, down the level, and I'm like, oh, hold on a minute, I haven't cleared this area, and then you
Mm.
can't remember which level your objective is. But then that's a
Yeah.
good problem to have
Yeah.
because it creates its own side quest and its
Yeah.
own
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
No, interesting. Interesting. Anything else you've been playing there, Scott?
So I cut you off while you was about to say something. Now I might have missed out on some genius.
No, no. I was just saying, is there anything else you've been playing?
Oh, the only other game I have been playing. So I just had a little look on the eShop because there's a little sale on which we'll get onto in a minute. And I no, actually, this was probably before last show. I stumbled across a demo for Harvestella. And I looked and I was like,
Mm-mm-mm.
that's a big AAA game. And I'm like, I've heard someone spoken about this game many times before.
Really? Who's
So
that?
I said, I'll tell you what, he's a handsome, he's hung well, he's handsome.
Oh,
And
that
so
ain't me then.
so I downloaded that. It sat on
Ooh.
the Switch 2 for about a week. And I thought, "Do you know what, I'll try that demo out, before clearing the space or whatnot. And I'll tell you what, speaking of space, I haven't got a SD card and it hasn't affected me whatsoever
Right.
with all the games so far. So it's
No, I
definitely a lot
haven't.
more
I haven't
power.
either.
Yeah, haven't needed one, so I didn't even need to delete it. But yeah, I played it. There it is.
Oh.
Square Enix. I'll tell you what,
Oh.
physically, it's like 49.99, but
Yeah, it's mad,
physical,
isn't it?
it's
It's
like
mad.
£25 pre-owned.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's got a good 10 days worth. I mean, I haven't completed the demo yet. I've definitely played it for at least an hour. This has only been the last 24 hours, so I played it a bit yesterday and before I come on the show today. I mean, I've only played it in handheld mode, not played it docked. Bear in mind, it was years ago it came out on the Switch. It looks absolutely beautiful on the Switch too. It's so well polished, and I'm really, really
Yeah.
enjoying it. I find it really relaxing.
It is. The
If anyone,
music's brilliant on it. The music's good. It's got a
yeah,
very good story, which I really enjoyed. It's that JRPG story, but it's got a bit of a twist to us
yeah, I can
nowadays.
see.
It's got that
Yeah,
time travel sort of thing. Its character models are very sort of PS2 looking, but it's got lovely lighting on it. You've actually reminded me. I'd love to try it on my Switch too, because the only thing that there was the problem with on the original Switch, especially in battles, there was a hell of a lot of slowdown. It would chug at times. So it'd be interesting to see
Oh
if.
no, mate! It runs really, really well. It looks
Oh,
really well. The fact
brilliant!
you said PS2, I'll be interested to see. I'll send you some screenshots.
Yeah,
If I play it later on after this recording because I think it looks really, really nice.
yeah,
And obviously, without any spoilers for me, because I have only played like an hour or so, I from what I can see, I mean, what I read about it is a bit like a life simulator JRPG. Your character sort of lost its sort of memory or identity.
yeah,
You do a bit of farming. You sort of go out. You harvest and mine materials. You defeat some enemies. It's like a 3D. What you call it, like not turn-based, like an action fighter. And then you go back. You can craft different things. You can buy and
yeah,
sell what you're. It's and then there's a slight story that creeps up each day. It's in real time, so you've got to be asleep by midnight. When you die, you wake up sort of in your bed. But yeah, it's from what I can see of it so far, it's really, really good. And yeah, the story sort of drips through like each morning. There's a little bit,
yeah,
and yeah, there's a character I've met straight away when the game starts who believes they're from a different time. There's these sort of creatures that aren't human, which everyone dislikes, yet your character sort of is not too sure whether they're bad and yeah, it's very interesting, mate. I can see why I mean, just anyone who hasn't listened back when you was preaching, how many hours can you remember you done on that?
130 plus, I think. Till I finished it, it was about 130 plus
Wow.
hours. Well, the thing I loved about it, I was banging to Stardew Valley at the time.
Yeah.
Um, and I loved that live farming sim. And then I think it
Mm.
was, I can't remember, it was a member of the Discord, or it might have been George saying, look, you want to get into JRPGs, you're struggling to get into them. I've just found the game for you. This is coming out. And I watched the trailer and thought, hang on, so it's a farming sim with
Yeah.
life sim with RPG as well. So you actually had a proper nice big RPG story to it, which was intriguing and you wanted to know more. Plus, you could grow all your stuff. You could make new things to grow and cook. You could make meals to take with you to heal you as you go. So the better the meals you make, the better you have. You can go fishing,
Yeah.
and then you go off and do the story as well. So it was all in one. It took me about 10 hours to get into it, and then bang, I was in. Once I was in, I
Yeah.
was in, and I absolutely loved that game. And I said to you, one of, if not my favourite game on the original Switch.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
loved it.
really good
I
to hear.
absolutely loved it. But I was gutted, like I said when we were talking off air earlier, when I found out the guy that wrote and or lead dev of the game has left Square Enix
Yeah.
about 8 months. I was thinking, oh, I wish it was going to be a two. I want Harvestella two.
I know,
Um,
and they're not shy of pumping out a game, Square Enix. They do
no, and
multiple
well, the
big
problem
games.
was,
Yeah.
I think this hurt Harvestella because this was right in that area when a few years ago when they were pumping out 30, 40 games in a year. You know, you had from
Mm.
Triangle Strategy to Final Fantasies to all these smaller JRPGs, and this one was out with them, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best of them. But it just got lost in the jaff a bit, you know, and yeah, got swallowed up with all what was being released. But yeah, definitely a brilliant game. I don't think it came out on anything else. I believe I think it is a Switch
No, I think
exclusive.
it's an exclusive. Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
there's not too many copies available, and probably
yeah,
why it's still got the digital price tag because they're not
mm,
printed anymore. Could be one for the collectors for the future. Who knows? But I've not
yeah.
played anything of that genre really. I mean, other than Animal Crossing, I haven't actually played any farming simulator games really. I
Well,
never
this is
played
really
Stardew
weird
Valley or
because
anything like that.
well, the thing is with this is a farm and sim. It takes a lot of tropes from Stardew Valley, as you know, and Harvest Moon, of which
Mm.
Stardew Valley was inspired. It takes a lot
Yeah,
of tropes from those games, and you can see it in the gameplay. And yet, the next minute, you're out playing a full-on RPG, action
RPG.
RPG,
Well, that's
and
what I was
it's
going to
all in
say.
one. That's
Yeah,
so good. And the different
because the
areas of
only
the maps are brilliant. You've got a
yeah.
snowy area, a beach area, and all these. You do all these
Oh,
side
I've not seen
missions.
that yet.
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant.
It's the
You'll
only
love
thing
it.
I've played that's similar, sorry, but it's not an RPG by any means, and it's not even any combat. There was a game that came out, it's very cheap. Actually, it's a fun game, probably more aimed at a younger audience, but it's a bit of a life sim, and there's a bit of crafting and farming in that. It was early on the Switch. I recognise the cover. My Time in
Oh
Portia, I
yeah,
think it was
yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I remember playing that early days on the Switch years
mm,
ago, and that's probably the only game that I can see similarities in
mm,
it.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it might open my eyes to a genre which I didn't realise I'd liked. So
yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting for me. So it's a ride that I'm going to be strapping myself in for. I'm
Oh,
sure I'll be
fingers
talking
crossed.
about it. Hopefully, when we're back on next week,
Yeah,
I'll be able to talk about it. I'll finish the demo, and I get paid in a couple of days. So I'm going to order myself a copy from CEX or with some credit.
yeah,
So I'm excited for that. But that is pretty much everything I've been playing. I want to talk more about Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I'll probably just drip feed it
yeah,
each week as I get a bit further in.
yeah.
But yes, that's all from me. So RGT, what have you been playing?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you like video games, then you can't miss Call Me By Your Game. It's a podcast hosted by me, Sweetie Pie Connor McCabe, where I invite a guest to share about a special video game from a memorable moment in their life. That's right, it's baked in nostalgia. Was Persona 5 a warm blanket during the pandemic? Did Mario Kart 64 feel like a vacation? Or does Spyro remind you of that winter break with Dad? These are the types of stories told on the podcast. So call me Tetris, Half-Life, or StarCraft 2, it's up to you. Find the show wherever you get your podcasts and get ready to call me by your game.
There's only two games this week, and you'll see why in a moment. Forza Motorsport 2. Still cracking on with that. Our sort of seventh gen
Yeah,
playthrough game of the month, or you know, our second game. Still enjoying that. I've got like one race left, I think, of the first lot of races, and I've been working my way through a few of the other ones, like amateurs and semi pros, and coming back to complete other races to get the money and bits. Still really enjoying it. Still really loving it. Me and Bada Binks were talking online about how hard to control the Clio V6 is. But that's how impressive this game is, because I remember Top Gear back in the day with Jeremy Clarkson test driving a Clio V6 and talking about how it snapped out oversteer and corners, and this does exactly the same on the game.
uh,
That's how good it is, you know. And but yeah, I'm just to think how old this game is. It looks really good. The car handling's really good. And I know I said this last week, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. The races at the moment are quite short, quite manageable. The upgrades are really easy to use, but you can style the car, even though you're track racing. You can make them big alloys if you want, and make it sound better. And each little mod you make to the car, especially the engine, that will sound that little bit different. Or you put a turbo on. Really enjoying it, and get home from work, a couple of races before tea, and that. Yeah, really enjoying it.
So it sounds like it's not only standing a test of time, it's thriving.
Yeah, and the same again. I mean, you could. I mean, I think mine was charity shop or something. I mean, but you could probably pick this up in CX for a couple of £. It's peanuts. If you've got an Xbox 360, get yourself a copy of Forza Motorsport 2. If you're not on the Discord, jump on with us, have a bit of fun with us. Upload what cars you got and stuff. And I mean, I know Carlos. He still had his old save on there. He had 58 cars in his garage. What a legend!
Yeah, I see him. He gets some putting pics up of what he had. That's nice to see.
And then my second game is a game which has got its claws in me. Funny enough, we were talking about a minute ago about Stardew, and we were talking about Harvestella. Well, this game has just done the same thing to me. This game I am playing on Switch 2. It's a Switch game, though. It was recommended to me by a loyal listener and subscriber, Firm Returns. Suggested to me a few weeks ago. I had it in my wish list and completely forgot about it. And I don't know why it cropped up. I'll grab it out here. It cropped up on, I think it was on Amazon suggested it. And as soon as it came, I thought, I forgot about that. It came up at like 26 quid. And I thought, well, £26, $30, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to have a punt on this. So I bought it, stuck it in me Switch 2. Obviously, I was away at the weekend at the wedding of the year. And I started playing it the night I got there. And I have, as of recording, it's now 4 days later, and I have not put this game down. And that game is, for the visual watchers, it is a game called Cattle Country. If you haven't,
I saw you flash that in a Discord. Yeah, I saw that.
If you haven't heard of Cattle Country, it's been described as Red Dead Redemption crossed with Stardew Valley.
Wow.
Yes, it's a bit of
wow.
It's a bit of a my first Red Dead Redemption, but it's to do with the West. So this is set in 1891. It's pixel art. If you're a fan of Stardew, and you saw this, you think it would be Stardew Valley. It's very similar graphically. That sort of 16-bit Super Nintendo, very colourful, very bright. And the intro of the game, just to set it off, is done by the guy who voices Arthur Morgan off Red Dead Redemption. So you get straight away, you feel that cowboy link as you come in. He goes, well, hello, partner. Wow. Yeah. And basically, that's the same thing as Stardew, but this way, your friends brought you in. He lives in this settlement in 1891. Gives you a plot of land and you can start farming like you do in Stardew. You've got mining, very similar tropes to Stardew. Some things are a lot simpler than Stardew. It's not as in-depth as Stardew. But then on the other hand, they do some things a little better, I think, than Stardew. And you get your settlement, you can build up. You can build up a lot quicker in this game than Stardew Valley. The seasons are a bit shorter. But like, for instance, you had to, one of your missions at the start was introduce yourself to 22 people in the village or the settlement. So I went round, chatted to these people, and the sheriff come along, and I was chatting to him, and he said, I don't want no trouble around here, partner, but I'm going to see what you're like with a revolver. So he took me off. We done this target shooting. Yeah, I've got a gun. I'm in Stardew Valley with a revolver and bullets. So like in Stardew, where you get you have your what do you call it? You have mining, you have farming, you have foraging, and you have, I can't remember the other one, combat. In this, you have an extra one. You have hunting. So you can go off, you can hunt deer, rabbits, you can cook your meat, you can change all what you do with meats.
It doesn't do it justice, the cover, does it? It doesn't look like that sort of game.
No.
And it's got quite a cool isometric pixelated look to it as well.
It has very good. It plays well. Is it as in depth for Stardew? No, nowhere near. Is it as good as Stardew? No, but if you're a Stardew fan or you fancy playing Stardew but a bit overwhelmed by how much is in that game, this is perfect. So far, I've absolutely loved it. I'm probably a bit ahead of where most people would be because I've played too much Stardew. So just naturally, you do it. Whereas in Stardew, for instance, you'd go down the mines, you would have an isometric view, you'd have a sword to kill enemies, and you also have your pickaxe to break rocks and collect ore and bits and pieces. This does it. So they've changed it up on this. You go to the mines and it's 2D, and you break each block as you go down. You have the odd enemy, but not too many. But it's almost like a dig dug or a what are them other mining games they come, Steamworld Dig, something like that. And you work your way down the screen. So they'll say get to level 50, you get level 50, you get a little reward, and you can collect your ore and that as you go. There's little things I like which it does better than Stardew.
Sounds really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, like in Stardew, if you fall asleep before you get back to your bed, someone has found you, but you've lost some of your items because, someone's robbed your items because you fell asleep. In this, there's a hospital in the town, so you wake up in the hospital, then you just have to pay the hospital, but you haven't lost any of your items. So there's little things like that I think is quite good. It's great. It's really good so far. I mean, a lot to say. I've been playing 4 days. I've got about 30 beehives. I've got kegs. I've been brewing beer. I've been growing strawberries and making strawberry wine, and selling on, making my money, doing the missions. Brilliant. And again, that's another one that's sort of slipped under radar. I think it's been out a couple of months. Great suggestion by Firm Returns. He obviously knows me very well. I think it was developed by Castle Pixel, and published by Platonic Friends. And I don't really hear many people talking about it. There's not a lot online about it, but it's a great game. If you're interested in Stardew, or if you've played Stardew, grab Cattle Country. I think it was on Steam originally, and it's now on Switch. Really good for something that's just over 20 quid or 26 quid. It's really, really good. I mean, I'm going to be putting some serious hours into this. I think.
I'm gonna check that out, mate. I might see if I can pick that one up Friday potentially as well. If I can get it on a good deal.
Well, like I say, if you're a Stardew fan, this is what caught me off. There was one bit I was walking back to my little Holden, because you start off just with a tent. You don't even get a house. You start off with a tent. So I was then walking back to my tent. Suddenly, these bandits jumped out with bandanas around their faces. Give me your money. So you had to shoot them and take them out.
Sounds fun.
And
I'll still be in a tent after 20 hours probably.
I was just like Stardew, and I've just dropped 2 bandits with my six shooter. Brilliant, great fun. And you can even like mine sulfur and make your own bullets and everything. So yeah, really good. Check it out, Cattle Country. But that, Scott, is pretty much what I've been playing this week. Thanks to Cattle Country.
Well, it's a pretty good game to be playing, mate. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. It's a bit of a hidden gem, really. I mean, not too many people from that cover art will know much about it. And there's been so many. It was kind of the in thing, wasn't it? Post-COVID, these sort of cozy games and these.
So Animal Crossing cleaned up, didn't they?
Yeah, so it's probably gone under the radar, mate. So thank you and Firm Return for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ever wondered what a rhythm-based stealth game with dinosaurs might look like? Or a farming sim in space with zombies? Welcome to the Gaming Blender podcast. I'm Matt, and with my co-host Scott, we take a random game genre and random game mechanics, blend them all up, and pitch wild, totally hypothetical games you've never heard of, and maybe shouldn't. New episodes every other week. Hit play and unleash your inner game dev. No coding required. Search the Gaming Blender on your favourite podcast app now.
I did message on, I linked him in on Discord the other day and said, I've just bought one of your suggestions. He was like, I'm intrigued. And then when I put it up there, he was like, oh, yeah, you're going to like that. Yeah, that's you. And yeah, he was right. That was me. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So we better head on with the show and say we've scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you this week's news. And first up, this is on Push Square. This is by Sammy Barker. Now, this news, as of recording, has dropped just a couple of hours ago. And Mrs. RGT, being a horror fan, I messaged her straight away, and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, yep, this game is dropping. So if you haven't heard by the time this show is released, The title goes, Pinhead is back. Single-player Hellraiser horror revealed for PS5.
Yes.
Famed English horror writer Clive Barker says he has been venturing deep into the recesses of his darkest imagination to help make Hellraiser Revival, a new single-player horror from Saber Interactive and Boss Team Games. Inspired by Barker's universe involving satanic Cenobites unable to distinguish the difference between pain and pleasure, Pinhead will return, with original actor Doug Bradley once again reprising his role as the iconic antagonist. No way. The game, as showcased in a twisted trailer above, so check this out on Push Square, but be warned. I'm warning you now. This is a warning. Do not watch this if you have young children or young children are around, because this starts off very explicit and very gruesome. It's only a short 1 minute 30 trailer, but it is very gruesome. So make sure you watch it when you're alone, I would. But anyway, yeah. Where were we? The game, as showcased in a twisted trailer above, will be a single-player survival horror action game with a brand new story guided by Barker. According to the press release, you'll wield the power of Genesis configuration along with a host of earthly weapons in a first-person experience that will see you inflict pain, brackets or pleasure, on your adversaries. Here's the official blurb. Discover the tale of Aiden, who must unlock the dark powers of the Genesis configuration, a mysterious puzzle box to help his girlfriend from a hellish abyss. As Aiden, you'll harness the box's infernal abilities to survive your pact with the sinister Pinhead and battle against the twisted cult that worships him and his Cenobites, or Cenobites, I think they're called, sorry. Fail and your suffering will be legendary even in hell. Barker, who's helping steer the direction of the game, says the dedication of the team making it is nothing short of remarkable. He said they've immersed themselves in the Hellraiser universe, capturing its essence, the seductive pull of suffering, the beauty within the grotesque, and forged a narrative that invites players to step beyond the threshold. I'm eager for both the curious and the damned to experience this new chapter in the Hellraiser mythos, where every moment balances on the brink of nightmare and revelation. There is no release date just yet, but the game is available to wishlist on the PS5. Additionally, you'll be able to pre-order 2 different collector's editions, including an exclusive version of the Hellraiser puzzle box with unique illumination effect inspired by the game. A special Hellraiser statue to display it on, as well as other officially licensed collectibles that have been created especially for those limited editions. Boss Team Games has a fairly good track record when it comes to these horror franchise licenses, as it was also behind The Evil Dead, the game, which we liked quite a bit. We awarded the asymmetrical multiplayer game 8 out of 10 in our PS5 review and described it as a pleasure to play. And that's over on, like I said, over on Push Square. But Hellraiser, being a single player game, has us extremely excited. Are you ready for pining for Pinhead's return? Prove there's no need for tears. And do you know what? Let us know what you think of this, guys. I mean, Pinhead, maybe you have to be of a certain age to remember Hellraiser, but just from the trailer, this game, it does look very good. Like I say, go over to Push Square, check this out, because they got some stills from it and the trailer. The stills look fantastic. They look really good. Graphically, it looks lovely. Like I say, it is very explicit, so volume down and don't have your kids around. But yeah, I sort of said to Mrs. RGT, they've started to show what they're going to do with this game. There's no holds barred with this, and I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. So yeah, I'm quite interested for this because, like I say, my Mrs. RGT is a big horror collector of sort of B movies right up to sort of modern classics of the horror genre. So she's excited for this. I might even treat her to the collector's edition because she would love that in her display cabinet. So yeah, I'm quite tempted with this. But what do you think about this, Scott? Is this something you're going to play? I think from your first reaction, this is going to be a bit.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, I didn't realise. Yeah, I hadn't seen this news story till you yourself had and just brought it up then. But I'm hoping it does very well. I mean, I think Hellraiser as a franchise, I think it's more popular than we think. I would have thought people would know about it, even a younger audience, a bit like Nightmare on Elm Street,
Mm.
because there was a modern film. I mean, I say modern. I'm sure it was the last 5 years because I remember it come out and me and my wife watched all the horror films and I said, "Oh, there's a new. They've released Hellraiser." And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. My wife, on the other hand, didn't, but I really enjoyed it. It's very gory, so it depends on what sort of horror films you like. There is a lot of suffering. It's not more suspense and it's not like paranormal suspense and that sort of feeling. It's more gruesome and gory in effect, very of its time, really. But yeah, in terms of I find it quite strange. I don't know if it's normal for PlayStation to say there's no release date. Is that just get a bit of hype and in a few weeks' time then announce it? Almost like get you a bit of a lift and get you on a run? Because if they said it's coming out in 3 weeks, it might not be enough time for people to talk about it.
I think what they're doing is they're giving you, I mean, it's very cleverly written, their blurb. So they're giving you the sneak of the game. They're giving you a trailer. They're giving you some stills. They're giving you what's in the collector's edition to get you ready. Let that build up a few weeks. Then they'll drop the date and the pre-orders and then people will go. But yeah, I think that's what it's about. I mean, if you've never seen Hellraiser, from what I remember, I believe it was these guys were very confused with pleasure and pain. They were like from hell, and basically what they would do is they had this puzzle box, and you had to gain them like 10 souls. Don't get 10 people over to them, and then they would either let you go or someone you loved that they'd captured. So you had to literally do their bidding for them and get them a certain amount of souls that they could torture for eternity. Very 80s, but very cool horror film. It surprised me because we're from when the first film came out, which would have been just off the top of my head, mid-80s, I would imagine. Scott, was it the first?
Yeah, it was. It would have been 80s, the original.
Mid-80s. Yeah. I mean, this is quite an unusual IP to do. You thought that'd have been more sort of a modern game that the audience would know more, but I suppose there's a market for the horror, and people.
Well, I mean, like
the cult following, I suppose.
Yeah, so the actual Hellraiser film, I'm just going to look now. So I'm trying to think when I watched the remake. So yeah, it was 87, the original.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen one since then. Oh yeah, 2022. It wasn't long ago at all.
Yeah, I think you've triggered something. I don't think I remember.
Yeah, it was 2022. I remember watching it, and I remember watching it in the current house I'm in, and I haven't been there too long. But I'll tell you what, in terms of IPs, it's still going strong because Hellraiser featured about a year or so ago. Well, it would have been after this film, so probably 2 years ago. We had Hellraiser as a killer on Dead by Daylight. And I remember being quite excited to play him. So it has been featured in other games in terms of crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's just really, really cool. I'm just trying to think. I think what was slightly different with the remake, I'm sure once you got a hand on the box, call it what you want, like Pandora's box's puzzle box. I think once you got a hand on it, you kind of were stuck to it. You once you had touched it from whatever temptation, you had to see it through, and it was pretty much you was doomed, to be honest. So it would be a very graphic, skin getting pulled, and I think most of it was filmed pretty much in one room. It was like a castle or basement, and then there was a lot going on. It's very exciting film, but very different. It's not like it's not like a Freddy Krueger or a Jason Voorhees who's coming at you, like chasing you down. And it's not a paranormal thing where it's all spiritual. It is it's a different sort of horror of a more gory type, which doesn't really exist much nowadays, I would say. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for that. And in fact, for the PS5, that's nice because I haven't really blown the dust off the PlayStation 5 for quite a while. Seb was talking a lot about how many good games were added to the Game Pass in the last few weeks, and I was thinking I'll jump back on there soon. So it's nice to have something coming out on the PS5, and I'm hoping it will be not too soon. They'll announce that we can, if we can add it in the wish list. I'm assuming the pre-orders will come soon for the collector's edition.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. I mean, also, I think they've been quite clever here. They could have remade the first film into a game, but they haven't. They've done a completely separate story. This is a
Yeah.
different story to anything they've filmed. So people who love Hellraiser think, oh, I've got to get this because I need to play this new story. I need to know what this new story is.
I am worried about it being a survival horror game because I always love the idea of them, but I get so scared. I try so many on the modern console. Honestly, mate, I love it, but I'll be so frightened. I think it would be quite funny if me and Seb put some cameras on our faces and try to play it sitting next to each other because he's probably more scared than I am, to be fair. But I'm really excited for that, mate. Some really good news you brought there.
Yeah, well, that dropped literally just before recording, so I thought, well, I've got to add this on.
Yeah, I see that. It's like 5 hours ago. Yeah,
we got a few in the Discord who are quite good, big fans of horror. So there's one for you coming out, a new horror game, which we haven't heard much about horror games lately. So this is a good one for that genre. So if you're into that, keep an eye out. Have a look on Push Square. Keep an eye on when the date's coming out. But yes, that is Hellraiser Revival on PS5. So any news from you then, Scott? I would imagine this will be Switch related.
It's of course it's Switch and Switch 2. Nintendo news, baby. So basically, again, this is pretty much within the last 24 hours. Nintendo announced, I mean, there's always a lot of sales, but they've announced a summer sale.
Ooh, I like an eShop sale. I like an eShop sale.
I know what you're thinking. There's always games on sale. However, there is a hell of a lot. So I've spent a lot of time digging, and basically there's about an average of 75% off. Some of the games are 50% off, but some of them are 90% off. There's an average of 75% off. Most of the sales run until the 3rd of August or 10th of August. So there's about a 2-week window to early August from the time of you listening to this from recording. You've got a good week or so of getting some of these games in. So what I've done, it goes on forever, this eShop sale, but I've spent time, I went through the first 30 pages of the eShop. I took my top game from each page. So I'm going to go through a good 30 games with you guys. And then I've got about 7, which I think are my favourites, ones I've played or hidden gems, which I think offer the best value. So I will save those for the end. So there's quite a few to go through. But I'll start off at the top. And then obviously, once I've done the favourites, if you want to make a note of any particular RGT, we can circle back. So, so the first one I want to mention is No Man's Sky for the Switch 2 specifically. Is 60% off at $15.99. It's a very good game.
Bargain.
Sid Meier's Civilization 6. So it's not the latest, which is on the Switch 2. However, if the price tags put you off, jump in at 6. I have played it. That's 80% off at £4.99.
$4.99.
That is a bargain. These are all bargains. These are all going to be, these are good.
You're going to need to send me the spreadsheet when we're finished.
I will do. I will do.
SD card needed.
I've added all these to my wish list, RGT. I think the bloody Switch 2 mini started overheating. So, Dave the Diver, 35% off. I know everyone's probably got it, but if you haven't, it's back down at 35% off. So you can get it for £11.04.
Well,
not sure what the 4 pence is about, but it is. Then we've got Borderlands. Now, there's a lot of Borderlands games on sale. However, the Borderlands Legendary Collection is 80% off. It was $39.99. This is all 3 Borderland games, right? It's a good deal. $7.99 for all 3. I think that's very good. Here's another one. Now, I've played the second one, which is Blasphemous. It's 75% off. The first one is very hard to get hold of. It's expensive physical, so I only own the second one. But the first one is, I think, a lot more popular. It's 75% off at £4.99, and you won't find that physical anywhere.
Is that the sort of
it's like a Metroidvania
sort of side scrolling sort of action?
That's it.
Yeah. Sort of with a big sort of helmet on, triangle sort of helmet.
Yeah, if you think Hellraisers, if you think Pinhead's freaky, wait till you play Blasphemous. That is a very odd horror game with a lot of imagination.
Very beautiful looking game, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it's a lot of graphical cartoons in it, to say the least.
Yeah.
Here's another one that me and RGT will praise until the cows come home. Is Dredge from Team 17, a fantastic game. That's 50% off at £10.99.
Worth that all day long.
I
fantastic game.
Mario and Rabbids, which if you haven't played as a spin-off, they're very, very good standalone titles. They're sort of like a turn-based tactical game. So completely different to the Mario game. I've played the first Mario and Rabbids. They're both on sale. However, the second one, which didn't come out too long ago, is called Sparks of Hope, is 83% off, £8.29. So that is very good.
First party as well, which is
first party.
very unusual for them to be dropping prices that much on anything with Mario in.
And then I think also the fact that Switch 2 has not been out long at all, and these games haven't been out long at all. Sonic X Shadow Generations, which is a Switch 2 game, they've put 30% off at £31.49. So if you want to get an A title game, that's a good price. Here's another one, as George likes to call it, the Switcher, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And this is absolutely awesome. You can get the complete edition as well for £12.49. However, if you want just The Witcher 3, £7.49, it's 75% off. Now,
that's a massive game for that money.
It's a huge game, and it runs, don't get me wrong, it plays better on other systems, but if you've got a Switch, it does run well on a Switch. And for £7.49, there is hours upon hours in that game of quests and side quests.
And the thing is, I said about the old Switcher 3 is, if you've only got a Switch, you're not missing out on these big RPG experiences, and you got it on the go as well.
Yeah,
it's very playable on there. Yes, it looks better on other systems, but you've got it if you've only got a Switch, so very well worth that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it on the Switch, and I think I've got it on PS4 as well, but I play it on the Switch. It performs well. Another game of similar ilk, Diablo 2 Resurrected. £11.49, 67% off. Diablo games. And there's a trilogy as well, but I thought individually the second one is quite good value. And now here's another game. This one is a gamer's game. It's incredibly hard and difficult to master, but my God, is it rewarding. And that is the shooter Cuphead, side-scrolling shooter. That is 30% off. I do own it physical. However, if you haven't been able to get a copy, it's £11.89 digital in eShop. Now, here's one for you co-op multiplayer fans. I mean, I know some of these games are free on Game Pass, but, you might not have Game Pass. And Unravel 2 is 70% off at £5.39, which is a nice co-op game.
Oh, great game. Me and my daughter a few years ago, we streamed it. We completed it and streamed it online, and that was, we loved that game. Very, beautiful little game.
Yeah.
Play it with your partner. It's very good.
Yeah, I've got another one that's probably even more fun, especially if it is with your partner and not with your kid. This one is Untitled Goose Game. You can have a hell of a lot of fun with that. It's 50% off, and I have completed it. It's absolutely brilliant. Not the longest game in the world, but for £8.
Great fun, that game, though. Yeah. Great fun.
That's it. Under a tenner. That is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
And here's a big title here. So Metroid Prime Remastered. They put it in 25% off for you guys. So that's £26.19. Which is quite good. I mean, they're priced quite well when that came out, but it's still a good value. This next game is awesome. I'm pretty sure Seb would agree with me as well. Cult of the Lamb, 50% off, £11.24. Very good game. Then we've got Dead or Skull. You might not have heard of this. I talked about it on the show quite a while ago. It's 85% off. It's £3.74. It's not the most high budget game. It is a bit of a Metrovania fighting game with different weapons, fast-paced enemies. It's really, really fun, very tongue-in-cheek. You're sort of playing like a high school girl, and you're running around causing carnage. Typical Nintendo game, to be fair, but that's actually a good game. That's £3.74, and trust me, for under a fiver, it's a good game. And then we've got Grounded for the Yoked Edition, £17.49, which is 50% off. That game hasn't been out too long for the Switch. I know it has been on other systems. Here's a game which is sort of a favourite of mine from the series, believe it or not. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, just because I love getting chased by the police. Yeah. That's 80% off, £6.99.
Bargain. Absolute bargain.
That is a bargain, yeah. It might not be your favourite in the series, but that is good, I think.
It looks good on Switch as well. Looks good on Switch.
Yeah, it does. I like it. Well. I like it when the, what do you call it? When they put the old spikes out. So,
the old stinger
Is it
strips.
the stinger?
Yeah,
I love that. I love it. Yeah. And you get to play, from what I remember on the Switch version, I don't know if it was on the original, you get to play as a police as well. You get to do the role reversal.
Yeah. You can switch it. Hey.
Yeah. Here's a game that's 90% off. Siberia 1 and 2, £2.99, 90% off.
Classics.
Yeah, that is a good deal. Here's another classic that was remade, and I remember playing through them and completing them with my wife when it got released. The Crash Insane Trilogy is £13.99 at 60% off.
Very good.
Another trilogy from back in the day on the PS1 is a Spyro trilogy. That's 65% off at £12.24.
Bargain. Great
Now,
games.
This next trilogy, it's had some work done, so don't worry if you put off on what happened. But I know the Batman games didn't run too good on the Switch when they came out, but they have been patched. So Batman Arkham Trilogy is £16.49 at 67% off. You played one of them recently, RGT, did you? On the
Yes,
Switch?
I played Arkham Asylum. I played on the
Yeah.
Switch. I did have one glitch where I fell through the floor into the game engine for a while there, but other than that, they play well. They look
The
they look like a
frame rate,
high res.
the frame rate
PS3.
drops when you're driving, doesn't it? That's about
Yeah.
it, I think.
Yeah, but other than that, I couldn't really fault them for a game that's on the go. You've got some big Batman games on there. I think they're good. Like I say, they were a bit broken at launch, but they have patched them. They're very playable now. That's a bargain for those. Really is a bargain.
And for your PS1 retro heads, we've had Spyro Trilogy, which I've got, and I've got the Crash Trilogy. But Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered, £10, 10 pence, 60% off. That's pretty good. And I don't know if anyone knows, but if you get those games on the Switch, you can just go into the menu, and I believe you can just turn on or off the tank controls and the old school graphics. So you can have the old graphics, or you can have the new remastered, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here's a horror game. It's probably not as scary as Pinhead coming at you, and that is Little Nightmares 2. That is 90% off. £2.49, which is insane, really, if you think about it.
Well, that's another thing. There's a lot of people I know like horror games, don't know of Little Nightmares, and I'm thinking this is very stylized. It's very unnerving, this game, in a way. It can be quite terrifying. So if you're a horror game fan, you love the genre, and you've always skipped over Little Nightmares, seriously, this is the time. For a couple of quid, give it a go, because you'll love it. It is very good.
Yeah. Aesthetically, you're right. It's almost as beautiful as a visual novel, isn't it? The background art, and then you sort of the foreground runs in front of it.
It's almost sort of animation or claymation that's got that real haunting sort of feeling to it. It's very good. If you're into horror games, you haven't played it, for this price, download it now, because you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. £2.49. You heard it here first. Or if not, RGT will give you your money back.
You'll say like George now. He promises half my collection to people each week.
Yeah. Right, here's another game which you probably remember from, what was it? We had Theme Hospital, and then we had 2 Point Hospital, Jumbo Edition.
Yeah.
£8.74. 75% off, which might tempt people, because myself, I fancy jumping back into it. And I remember playing a demo, but I thought, I only want to play it a little bit. I'm not going to get into it. But for £8.74, that's pretty good. Crash Team Racing, which I did get, that was very good. That's £12.24, 65% off. Now, this next game was on a Nintendo Switch Direct not too long ago, and Seb said it was a game of the year at one point. It did massive on Steam, and I did play the demo. Very good game, and that is Pizza Tower. £12, 5p, 33% off. £12 you can get Pizza Tower for.
And another one with a very unique art style, almost hand-drawn 80s cartoon. Looks very stylized. Very good.
Good platformer, good unique mechanics. Won't be like anything else you've played. Very, very unique. Cassette Beasts, which is 50% off, £8.99. Now, I've got that physical, and it's gone up in price. Like, it's creeping up towards the £100 mark. It's getting very expensive.
Really?
It's basically it's like a Pokemon clone, but it's like retro. You put the cassettes in, you can sort of merge, a bit like a Digimon. It's a Pocket Monster type game, but that's getting very collectible. And before I get into my top picks, this next one is becoming very collectible. Probably because you keep banging on about it, RGT. You like this game. Signalis is 30% off, £11.19. We both own it. You've played it a lot more than me. That's sort of a bit like a horror survival, a bit like Resident Evil style type game.
It's like a futuristic Res 1, really. It's like a love letter. You know, even when you open up, I was talking to someone the other day about it, I think it was Firm Returns actually picked it up physical.
Yeah.
And I said, even when you open up the menus, the way the menu or your inventory is, it's very Res 1. But it's got a good atmosphere to it. Another one that went under the radar and people weren't talking about. I bought it last year before I went on holiday, started playing it on my Switch. Very good game. Did you say it's creeping up physical price, is it?
It is, mate. Yeah, it came out very cheap, and since its launch, I think it's almost doubled in price.
Well, I
Since they've stopped
bought that
printing.
new and sealed last year before I went on holiday for £12.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what. Let me have a look. I remember buying it myself when it came out. I'm pretty sure it was similar, £15 or something like that.
For
Let me
the
have a look at the
for the visual
second-hand
viewers.
market.
There we go. That is it.
Yeah,
Signal-
it's
or
£30 now. £30.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's
But
double.
yeah, very, very good game. If you like your early res games, this is, yeah, and it's got that sort of creepy element, great atmosphere, good sound effects, very underrated. But that's a bargain for the digital.
Yeah. Now, the Nintendo eShop sale, obviously, guys, you've got till basically the end of the first week of August, so do jump on there quick. I mean, I've just gone through the first 30 pages, but it's a never-ending list. I've never seen the back end of an eShop. I normally fall asleep or run out of beer by then. However, these are the Marathon Gaming top picks. So here's my top 8. So these are ones I think I've played myself, and I think they're the best bargains. So Spiritfarer Farewell Edition. Now, this is 85% off. It's £3.56. And if you haven't played Spiritfarer, it is such a unique game. It won a lot of awards. Like a proper Game of the Year contender. It visually is beautiful. The story's beautiful. The mechanics are beautiful. There's a farming aspect to it. Just have a look at the trailer online or go on the eShop, because as a base game, it was very, very good. And it was a real hidden gem, and it's grown now. A lot of people know about it. I'm not sure what the Farewell Edition entails. There's obviously some free DLC, but for £3.56, I mean, that game, paying £30 is worth it. It's not a AAA studio. However, they made as much money as a AAA studio did, because it just did amazing. So yeah, Spiritfarer. Did you play that game, RGT? I think you did, didn't you, as well?
No, I haven't played it, but I've just written it down because as soon as you
mate.
said farming elements, I was like, right, I'm having that.
Yeah. You're on a boat, basically. And if anyone's not, I apologise if I misunderstood. But from what I think a Spiritfarer is, you're someone, you find lost souls, and you help them get to the afterlife. So you might meet someone, and then you've got to take care of them, find out what's wrong. They will live on the boat with you. They'll help things with you. You'll farm for them. You'll cook for them. You try to find out their issues. You sort of fix them, and then they go off to the next place. It's a really heartwarming game.
Wonderful, yeah.
Mate, it is a really good game. So yeah, £3.56, guys. Honestly, you won't be disappointed with that. This next game, now you might not appeal to a lot of you. However, I had a really good time of it. I got really stuck into it. It's a funny story. I have brought it up on the show, but I'm going to tell you guys a story about it again. This is Thief Simulator. It's 90% off, £1.79. There was rumours of a second one, but it still hasn't made it to the Switch. I don't know if it's on Steam. We'll find out from Seb when he's back on an episode. But basically, I just found this game, one Friday night after a few beers or a bottle of wine, and I ended up, or a couple of bottles of JD. I was down the eShop and I found Thief Simulator. It was real early doors, when there was a lot of, there wasn't too much on the eShop. I remember buying a game called Bouncy Bullets. I remember talking to you, Archie, and you actually completed it. That's how dire the eShop was at one point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I found Thief Simulator. I got so into it. And I remember, yes, that's £1.79, 90% off. And I did a good, 20 hours. It got really hard. You start off, you'll go through a window in a little ghetto town. You'll take a watch, a bit of money, and there's, you can upgrade what you do. Next thing you know, you're hijacking cars, you're going in mansions, swapping patents. You start off at a base level thief, and you work your way up. You complete different maps, and you go through more expensive cities. It's really, really well done. It's a very good game. But my wife didn't like me playing it. She kept saying, this is bad karma. You shouldn't be enjoying a game where you steal stuff. And I said, look, I play GTA. Doesn't mean I'm going to kill someone in real life, right? But I could see her point. So she was like, you shouldn't be playing this. And I said, no. I see your point. It's a fun game. Leave me alone, woman. Anyway, she was right. That night, that night we're laying in bed, right? Alarm goes off,
I
and
remember
I had a
this,
few
yeah.
drinks. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I've had a night of sleeping tablet because I do trouble sleeping sometimes. I've woke up, I've walked into the door. She's going, "There's an alarm going off." And first of all, I think, "Oh, we haven't got an alarm." And then I run downstairs. I'm playing with the oven because I think the oven alarm's going off. And she's like, "It's come from outside." I go outside and someone smashed the windows of my car and they've stolen
Ah.
stuff from my car. And ever since that day, I haven't played Thief Simulator because I was like, now I know how
Should have
it feels. I
listened.
was like, I don't want to be on the other end of this. So, but yeah, if you are interested to know what it's like, £1.79, 90% off. Honestly, it is a really fun game. It's really, really good. The way it just you start off doing nothing, stealing toasters and then selling them, and then the way you work your way up to boosting cars and going into mansions. It's almost a bit like playing Hitman. You know, you're hiding from security cameras,
Yep.
you're hiding from security guards, moving the shadows. Yeah, really good game. This next game, completely different to that. It's called A Short Hike. It's 45% off at the
Is
moment.
that like the bird?
Free.
Where you fly with a bird up the mountain?
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. It's a very short game, but a bit like. Oh, I knew you said another game, but it's in this list, so I won't recommend that. A bit like Firewatch. It's a pleasurable experience, but you'll be done with it in 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's £3.45. So a lot of people don't want to spend 20, £30, £40 on a game that's under 5 hours. But honestly, for £3.45, cheaper than a cinema ticket, and you'll get a good 3-4 hours out of it. Most beautiful story. There is a bit of replayability in it as well. It might look childish, but there is a nice sort of meaning and story to it. That's 45% off. A Short Hike. It is a super rare game. It is very expensive now. And luckily, I do own it physical. But again, that's creeping up towards £100 mark. So yeah, check that out. A very good game. This next one is a game that I was so into. I don't know if you remember when we first met RGT in Bury, Manchester. I was chewing your ear off after a few beers about this game. So much that you ended up buying the game and you were talking about it on the show. And that is Brotato, a roguelike. Now, this is a bargain, guys. 30% off at £3.49. I know it was on Game Pass at one point or PlayStation Plus, but £3.49 for a copy of that on the Switch to take on the go is a very, very good deal.
It's great fun. If you've played Vampire Survivors, it's like that. But you're a potato, and it sounds ridiculous, but it's so much fun.
You're exactly right. It's a small map, even smaller than an automatic fire, which is the same as Vampire Survivors, but a smaller map. There's probably about 50 different characters, and you've got to unlock them. And then it gets easier. When you're doing your runs, it's carnage, proper hellfire carnage. Yeah, very good game.
Get that first run, and I remember messaging you saying, "I've done it."
Yeah, when you complete, it's so good. You won't be disappointed.
Brilliant.
This next game, which is a big title to have on the Switch, and it plays very well because I have it on the Switch as well. It is Kingdom Come Deliverance, the Royal Edition. Now, that is 75% off at £9.99.
It's a big game for that.
That is a big game for $9.99. The only thing I can think of, are we perhaps seeing the second one come out on the Switch too? Maybe.
Normally, you get a bit of a push or sale on the original to get the hype back up. So that's a good call. Remember that when we announced that in the news. Good call.
Now, this last game. This is a very nice game, a bit like A Short Hike. It's probably only 5 hours or so, probably 10 hours max. Actually, no, I think I did play it for 10, 15 hours. Anyway, it's a very nice game, very heartwarming story about growing up, about siblings. I know I've talked about it on the show before, and I've got 3 sisters myself, so I can relate to it a lot. We're all different ages, and it's a really heartwarming story about imaginary friends and growing up. It's called Little Gator Game. It's 50% off. Again, it's a super rare title, so a very big following for this independent. It's £8.37. Now, you know how critical our friend Triple S Seb is. He is the single player experience guy. He's so critical, and I quote, he said once that this game is better than Zelda. And do you know what? He might not be right, but it's a good game, is what I'm saying. Little Gator Game is 50% off at £8.37. And that is a solid game. All of those games I've played, and I've completed them all, other than Kingdom Come Deliverance. Oh, actually, to be fair, I didn't complete Thief Simulator because my car got broken into. I've got two more, actually. 2 more.
Oh, good.
And I have completed both of these, and I think they're very good value. South Park, The Stick of Truth. Now, it's a lot better than the Fractured Butthole. The mechanics of this game is brilliant from start to finish. Even if you're not a fan of South Park, it's comedy gold. If you're a fan of South Park or remember the series and watched it when you was younger, this game as an RPG is flawless. It is 75% off, £6.19. And I'll tell you what, if you was going to play one game out of this list, other than Spiritfarer, I would tell you to get Stick of Truth because that is a phenomenal game and you'll have many hours of fun. This next one, the last one, is a bit of a retro throwback. And I couldn't wait for this to come out because I had these games on many systems, but in particular the Mega Drive. Me and my sisters would play Aladdin, and then me and my cousins would play Lion King. And I couldn't wait to go back. I remembered the cheat. They released them on the Switch. You can also rewind when you get stuck, which is a feature for a lot of the retro games on the Switch. So the double pack is 65% off, £5.85 for two games. So if you remember those, if you want a bit of nostalgia back, I want to see it polished and how it plays on a big screen, then check it out. That is an absolute bargain. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of games there, but I just couldn't. Once I got about 20 pages through, the big bargains were coming shorter and shorter. And I thought, I'll wait till I've got a nice solid list. So I'm hoping that, there's a lot of different style of games there. I'm hoping there's something for everyone from our listeners. And if you have got a Switch 2 or a Switch and you're listening to this, and you're in a Discord, if you do manage to pick up any of those games on the back of my recommendations, I'd love to hear from you and see what you think because there's some really, really good games there.
Brilliant. Yeah, if you like this sort of section that Scott's doing, has been doing, let us know. We could do this regularly because I love this. I've been making notes of games here that I'm going to purchase once we're finished recording.
I know, it's bad for the wallet though, isn't it?
But it's so nice to have them all tucked away on the Switch ready to play.
Well, what's good about the Switch is, it's like RGT is saying, is what's good about the Switch is you can add your games to your wish list, and then all you do is you wait for a sale. So they'll email you when the game's on sale, and I do this every month. I get paid. I'll just choose a random game that's cheapest from my wish list. So any of those you like, guys, even if there's 5 or 6, add them to your wish list. And even if you can only afford one this month, get the one, and then a sale will come back around. So don't panic.
Yeah, and do the same. I'm not sure about Xbox. I know PlayStation does the same as well. You can do it on there, add them to your wish list, and then if you're a bit unsure about going too expensive, just wait. That'll come down, and then you can pick it up then. But yeah, that's brilliant. Well, while we're talking about sales, Scott, the final bit of news over on Pure Xbox by Fraser Gilbert. This is deals. Xbox summer sale gets even bigger with 100+ new discounts. And he goes on to say, haven't found anything in the Xbox summer sale 2025 that interests you yet? It might be worth taking a look through today's new Xbox discounts then, which total just over 150 in all. These are part of the usual Tuesday refresh on the Xbox Store, with the main discounts all being exclusive to Xbox Games Pass members. There are just over 50 of these Games Pass exclusive deals, but Xbox Deals is highlighting another 100+ titles, mostly very small indie games that are now reduced on the Xbox Store for the next week. Below, Pure Xbox have listed just their main picks, a bit similar to what Scott has done there. Pure Xbox has just listed their picks here from the discounts which are available. And they have gone with A Plague Tale Innocence has got 75% off. Aliens Dark Descent is 60% off. Atlas Fallen Reigns of Sand, 60% off. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, 50% off. Cluedo, 70% off. Duke Nukem Forever, 80% off. The Evil West, 70% off. Far Cry Instincts Predator, 70% off. Far Cry 2, 70% off. Izonzo, 75% off. Lumines Remastered, 70% off. Metal Slug Tactics, 30% off. Prince of Persia, 75% off. Revenge of the Savage Planet, 50% off. Sid Meier's Pirates, 80% off. SnowRunner, 3-year anniversary edition, 50% off. What a game, SnowRunner, what a game.
Yes. That's also on sale on Switch, but not as good discount as that.
And actually a superb port on the Switch. That is a brilliant port on the Switch. How they made that run on air, I'll never know. Tannenberg, 70% off. Tetris Effect Connected, 50% off. The Crew 2 Gold Edition, 70% off. The Darkness, 80% off. The Darkness 2, 80% off. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier, 75% off. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, 60% off. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction Deluxe Edition, 75% off. Tom Clancy's The Division, 80% off. Trials Rising Gold Edition, 80% off. Great game, Trials Rising. And finally, Watch Dogs, 75% off. All of these new Xbox deals will be available until July 29th. So not long. You've got 4 days as of recording. While a larger selection of Xbox Summer Sale discounts from last Thursday will be available to July 31st. So actually, when this show is out, you won't have long to get them done. So get them downloaded as quick as you can. In other words, you've got around a week for it all ends as of this show. We've got loads of guides to Xbox Summer Sale elsewhere on Pure Xbox if you're interested. So yeah, check out the guys at Pure Xbox with these discounts. As you're listening to the show, if you listen on a Sunday, then get downloading straight away because there isn't long on these, but some of them are till the 31st. But there's some interesting games in there. There's a bits from sort of modern games like Evil West to retro games like Far Cry 2. I've never really been a Far Cry fan, but I've always wanted to play that because I remember watching a friend play Far Cry 2.
Same.
Yeah, but things from like SnowRunner, Crew 2, 70% off. There's some good games there.
A lot of retro games there as well. It's like Darkness 1 and 2. There's some real throwbacks there.
Yeah,
well, they were 360, weren't they? But
yeah, definitely.
Big games.
Yeah, there is some big games. And also it's, normally with Xbox, you're always talking about Games Pass, but it's nice to see what the deals are as well, because it's normally just what's being downloaded on Xbox, but, not everyone who is on Xbox has Games Pass, obviously. So there's some good deals there for you. So, like I say, you'll be listening to this on a Sunday. These go from, these finish on Tuesday and on a Thursday. So get downloading if you listen to the show. But yeah, some good deals there to be had. So it's been a bit of a show full of bargains, this.
I've got one other bit. It's not a bargain, RGT, but there's something else I was going to mention to you. I probably was going to say it off air, but as we're talking about Xbox and a bit of everything. Helldivers 2. Have you heard that's coming to Xbox from PlayStation?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah.
It surprised me. PlayStation don't normally let their big IPs go across.
I think our exclusive's dead. I mean, what is going on?
I wondered because when Microsoft started putting like Hi-Fi Rush, they started putting Forza Horizon, Indiana Jones. They all started drip feeding them over to PS5, which a lot of the Xbox fanboys were like, no, there are exclusives. We don't want them. I wonder if there was a bit of a deal done saying, yeah, we'll release them on yours, but you've got to give us that. I wonder if there was a little bit of a deal done.
Maybe, yeah.
Because that's unusual for Sony to let they normally hold on to their. That's a big one. But I tell you what, if you're an Xbox gamer, you can have fun.
Yeah, mate, I
you're going to love it,
didn't I? This year, I was loving it. Yeah.
If you've only got an Xbox at home, get downloading it because when that come over, you'll love it.
And there's a lot of updates as well. I mean, I played it this year, and everyone played it last year and the year before. I remember Bobby talking about it when he was last on, so it's quite a while ago. And I had a friend come on. He's like, I've not played that in months and months, and he was like, oh my god, this is new. This is added. These monsters weren't there. They are really adding to it, so it's got a good following.
And the good thing is as well, they've been quite clever with that because the hype's gone on Helldivers 2. You now chuck it onto a new console. You're going to build hype again. You're going to get game sales. You're going to get people buying packs. Then not only that, if it's cross-play, then all the people who are on PlayStation, if their friends have got Xbox, are saying, "Oh, come and join us on that." That'll get people playing again on the PlayStation. So that's a double win. I think if you're an Xbox gamer, you've got it. If you're a PlayStation gamer, you can play with your mates who are on Xbox. So it's a win-win. So
bring Helldivers to the Switch. Come on, make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. Do you agree with us? Any of the news? Is there any deals you're going to pick up? Is there any games you're thinking, oh, I've played that, that's a bargain? Any more recommendations? Let us know. Questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com or DM us on Instagram or X or anything. Scott is Marathon Gaming on YouTube. I am Retro Gamer Thomas over on Instagram. So you can contact us that way, follow us that way, let us know. Or
you can contact George on OnlyFans.
Yes. And but he has millions of contacts on there, so it will take him a while to reply because he's one of their leading earners. You'll probably get some swimsuit suit shots this week as he's away. Before we go on to the next bit, I just want to announce that we are currently going through the short YouTube Shorts competition that we done. We had loads of entries. We were overwhelmed by how many people done entries to that, from Carlos to Firm Returns. We had HG Games, and if I missed your name, very sorry. I had loads of people doing them. A lot of them were getting a lot of views as well, which we're over the moon about. We're currently going through those at the moment. We will be deciding when, as George has the final say, we'll be deciding that when George gets back in a couple of weeks' time. So don't worry, we haven't forgot. We'll be announcing the winner in a couple of weeks' time, and then you will have your new game of your choice. But yeah, thanks to everyone that took part in that. Thanks to everyone who's been uploading the clips. They've been brilliant. They've been very inventive. They've been very different. We've loved them. It's been brilliant. It's added a new shine to the show as well, and got a few more eyes on. So thank you very much for that. And like I say, a couple more weeks' time, and we'll announce a winner. And fingers crossed, you never know, it might be you. Right. So I suppose we better move on to our wonderful subs list, don't we, Scott?
I think we should, yeah.
I think
Should we kick it off from the top? The top, shall I say?
Yeah. Go on, you can start this week. Why not?
So, number one, we have got the legend that is Cenox. Thank you, buddy.
Brilliant. Thank you, Cenox. And then we have the one-man George fan club, which is Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. And also, he done a lot of shorts, and they were brilliant. While he was at work as well. Legend. Thanks, Carlos.
And here's a man I like to see in some shorts, because I've seen him topless, and that is Firm Returns.
Yes, very buff. Thank you, Firm Returns. Then we've got the wonderful Trestles in New York, supporting us for a long time. So thank you, Trestles.
And then we have got Roast Space Monk. I love you.
Yeah,
all I want to say is I love you.
I like it when he uploads those pictures of his Dreamcast, his collection. He's going for a full Dreamcast set.
Do you know what?
It looks stunning. It looks stunning.
I've been it's weird you said that, because even today I was thinking I want to play my Dreamcast. I've not played, obviously, since Switch 2's come out. It's hard to get back in retro because you're juggling 3 consoles again: PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch 2. But I was thinking today, what is the one retro console I'll probably go back to? And I thought, you know what? I've not blown the dust off of the Dreamcast for a while, so I might have to get on that in honour of Roast Space Monk, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because when you see his collection at once, it makes you want to play Dreamcast, definitely. Yes, and then we have got the wonderful Bada Bing Star. Thank you, Bada Bing Star, as always.
And then we have got Tingle Tuner, the most tingly of all the tuners in the ocean.
Without doubt. Full on tingle. And I saw him talking on Discord today about he was hoping to play Dragon Quest, but Bellatro's got him as well, so he's just been bumping
I'd tell you what, it's always a good showing, the challenge accepted, and each month, don't get me wrong, you get the odd one where maybe not as many people play. It might be because it's a bit of a hard challenge. Sometimes someone comes in with a big score, and this has happened on this particular game. I think Digital Monkey's got an outrageous score, but it's still good that so many people, like I said last week, I said, let's have a battle down the bottom. Let's have a battle mid-table. Just get involved, because if it wasn't for this competition, I wouldn't have gone back to Bellatrix. And I've realised, hold on, this ain't a poker game. This is a roguelike. It's fun. So, absolutely awesome. So I'm not surprised he's gone full into that.
Yeah, bless him. Next up, we have the guy who organises Challenge Accepted and going to be our quiz host in a glittery jacket on the 2nd of August. It is Digital Monkey. Thanks again for all you do, fella.
And then we have got the man who jumps on the heavyweight scales. It is the Gaming Gram. He weighs in at 999 grams. I don't know if that's a lot, actually. Doesn't sound a lot,
but it's grams.
I don't know what a pound is. It's a grams, and he's a Gaming Gram, so just take it.
Yeah, he's the Gaming Gram, yeah. Next up, we have Bald Border. Thank you, my friend.
And then we have got the costume master himself. We have got Boba. Boba the Loba.
Going brand. Next up, we have George's red-headed stepson. It is Ginge. Thank you, Ginge.
I'm meeting up with Ginge.
Yo,
By
yeah,
the time this
yeah.
airs, yeah, he's coming along to Nottingham. If anyone wants to come along, Nottingham at Video Games Expo is 24th, 23rd of July, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I think next year I'm
Uh,
going to have to go to that. We're going to have to organise a little road
yeah,
trip, Scott.
yeah. Do you know what? It's not the biggest one, but there's a lot of nice people that go there. So I
Yeah,
normally
that's what I
go
mean. Yeah,
I just go to see people, to be honest. So yeah,
yeah.
good fun. It's always a good turnout. Where are we up to now? And then we have got Harvey Retro, the Lord of Darkness.
The only Lord of Darkness yet. Then we have the wonderful Emma Sharp. Thank you, Emma. And I haven't forgot your cable. I just haven't found it yet, but I will find your cable.
Oh,
Don't
I
worry.
thought you lent her the cable. Is her
No,
games room finished yet, or
no,
not?
it's getting there. She's got a without boring people who don't want to know, but she about games and OSSCs and stuff. But anyway, she's got a multi HDMI going in, so she's got all the consoles set up. But she's got an original Xbox. Obviously, you can't plug that in, but I have got a upscaler HDMI lead, which I don't need anymore because I've got an OSSC. So I said, "Tell you what, you can have that for your games room, but I've just got to dig it out. It's buried in my storage locker of all the other game and tat that I've got piled up in there. So, but I will find it, Emma. Do not panic.
Right, next up, we have got Nowhere Near Berlin. Now, I can't remember who it was, but someone in the Discord said, Scott,
I think it was
RGT.
Boba. I think.
Yeah, I think it was Boba. He said, Scott, RGT, you've gone the whole wrong way about this. He's like, you need to look further afield. He's not right under your nose. So I've got some scouts. I've got one in Iceland at the moment. I've got one in Sydney. I've got one in the Philippines. Boba, let us know any other
luck?
coordinates or
Any
where we
luck?
should send them. Yeah, report back to Boba because he's leading this operation now. We need a firm
Okay.
ban on it because it's not working with me and you, RGT. We can't locate him. So Boba's drafted in. He's organising the scouts.
And
So
the good thing is with
anyone,
Boba, any of this sort of
yeah,
mission, that's up his street because he can just go in Bran, and he'll be finding Greg. So yeah.
the only thing I'm worried about is the whole Chinese whispers thing. You know, like a scout in Iceland might go to Boba, going brown, spotted him over the horizon. And then by the time it gets to us, it'll be going blue. I've lost him, bottom of the ocean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to know what he
Yeah.
said. So it is a
No.
worry. But yeah, anyone in the Discord, let us know where to send the next scout so we can locate him. But thank you to Nowhere Near Berlin, nevertheless.
And then we have to thank the one we all should thank, and that is a Mumsy. Thank you, Mumsy.
And then this next member is responsible for causing a strike with Royal Mail because they sent so many letters. They couldn't cope. They had to actually do a big recruitment force. You think it's busy at Christmas trying to get a letter across? Try and get a letter to this PO box address. It's the RGT fan club.
Oh, I hope you're listening to this, George. I hope you're listening. Yeah, thanks for all those. And then next we've got Pete Brocklehurst. Thank you, Pete.
And then we have got the tastiest man in all of the toasted spreads, and that is Billy Marmite.
Love him or hate him. Then we have the wonderful Simon Pryke. Thank you very much, Simon, which really pleases me because that's left you with.
I don't know what I thought at the start. I thought this is just going to end up with me with Fat Zangief, and I thought no, it shouldn't do. But then it got to Bada Binkster, and I thought no, because normally I have Bada Binkster. So what sort of angle are we going to go for this week? Because Seb smashed out of the park last week. You've had 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, this is brilliant. So I had about 4 weeks on. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. I want you to be as sensual as you can be, gentle and sensual.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm going to cover the camera for this one.
Oh no, don't.
No, I won't. Eye contact.
Yeah, I do. I want to see right in your eyes.
Hold on. My neighbours just knocked at the door, so
Yeah. Wow. I don't know if it's a neighbour or the police, but
do you know
yeah.
what? I feel like I've gone red, like I've lost a bit of breath and
You've
oxygen.
gone red. I don't know if sensual got lost in translation, but
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure.
Wow.
I thought you said perform it as a sex deprived samurai ninja. I thought was the
Oh, well, then
coaching
you were
tips.
spot on. Absolutely
That
spot
was
on.
spot on.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. But yes, thanks for that, Zangief. And thanks to everyone that's our
Thank you
subscribers.
to everyone who supports us. As we always say, at RGT Echoes, show's always free, but anyone who can contribute financially, it means a lot to us, and we are always thankful. And it makes us smile when we're doing the show, knowing that people like listening to us and they enjoy it and they enjoy the content. So thank you to you guys because you make it worthwhile.
Here, yeah, definitely. And, we always try and give a little bit back to those who subscribe. And I know it's anything from a fridge magnet to a shout out to a Zoom call to a T-shirt to a mug, but it's all a little bit back just to say thank you and we appreciate you. Hence why we read you all out on every show. So, yeah, thanks to everyone on that. All right, moving along then. We're getting towards the end of the show now. God, this has gone quick. This has gone quick, this show, Scott. But I suppose I better say to you, what are you hoping to play?
I was just saying we could lengthen it out. We could all take in turns doing Fat Zangief until we've got no air left in our lungs.
No, that'll be it.
Next time, we'll save that for next time. Okay.
Yeah,
what am I
were too
hoping
good
to
at
be playing?
Yeah, you were too good at it. I can't compete.
I'll tell you what, the phone's not stopped ringing. They're like, we need a series on Netflix. We need a weird man with a terror. I think this is the guy. Right, what I'm hoping to play, I know I'm going to be playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. I kind of hope that I've only got one more run in me of Balatro. Because it'd be nice to put that to bed.
Yeah, because I think does that finish this weekend, doesn't it? Last Sunday of the month?
Yes, it will do. And then we'll have a new announcement, which is quite exciting.
Well, as this show, if you're listening to this show now, then we probably already have the winner, I would imagine, but we'll be very close. So
it's like we're in the future.
So, yeah, that is. So we're looking into the future. But, yeah, so hopefully on next week's show, we'll announce who that winner was. So, yeah, we'll see.
So, a bit of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Finish with Balatro. I'll probably would have acquired a copy of Harvestella. I keep going to call it Interstellar. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll finish the demo, and then if it tickles me, then I'll let it tickle me some more. I think I'm going to jump on this cattle game with you and Firm Returns because I don't want to be left out. And also, I know I'm going to be getting at least a game or two from that eShop summer sale. So to be honest with you, the next time we talk, there's going to be a good 30, 40 minutes of us talking about what we've been playing. So, yeah, what I hope to play and what I actually play might be very different, but we'll have to see. That's all from me. But Mr. R to the G to the T.
Yes.
What are you hoping to play?
I remember saying last week, I'm going to get Singularity finished this week. I hadn't touched it. I've just been on Cattle Country, but I must get back on Singularity. Try and get that wrapped up. Cattle Country is always going to be burning there in the background. I can assure you of that. Because I'm even walking around at work like I did with Stardew, planning out my business. Right, I need to get more kegs, get down the mine so I can get some copper. Then I can put that in my furnace and make copper bars. And then I've got enough copper bars and wood to make my kegs. And then I can produce this wine from my strawberry. I'll tell you, it's just going from my head all day. So yeah, Cattle Country, Singularity. Hopefully there'll be more Forza Motorsport 2. I would imagine, as there's only a few of us playing it, we'll probably last that for another week or two, Forza Motorsport 2, and then me and Zangief will get together and announce the next game we're going to play through together for that. And we'll still keep Forza 2 burning in the background, but we'll announce another one because actually Fat Zangief can actually even play Forza Motorsport 2 because it wasn't backwards compatible on his Xbox. So so we'll announce another one of those. That'll either be Xbox exclusive, that'll either be a PS3 exclusive, or it'll be a cross-platform game which they done, but it'll be one off the lists back on the show. If you haven't listened to that, we done a show a little while ago announcing a list of games we each wanted to play on that 7th generation and tick off our lists. So go back and have a listen if you're interested. You could jump on with us on Discord, have a playthrough, speak to people who are playing it as well. I try and leave a link to the Discord in the show notes, but they're always timed, the Discord link. So what I've done is if when you get to the Discord link and click on it, if it doesn't activate because it's out timed, literally go to questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, email us, and we'll ping you a link to get you in. Okay. So anyone that's the links, run out, or if you're already on Discord, just search us and jump in. I think that's probably pretty much all I'm going to be playing, Scott, I think. And I think as the show goes, I think we are about there, I believe. That was a good show.
So.
Full of bargains, full of discounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, full of fat Zangiefs. So, yeah, you went full Zangief on us.
I've Zangiefed everywhere.
And on that note, it just leaves me to say there is nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. That's what you do with it that counts. See you later, Scott.
See you, RGT.